YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury on a budget, so if you're into that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post a new video, and please like all the videos that you enjoy. Today I have an organizer comparison. These are all felt bag organizers that I purchased from Amazon. And I want to say, well, let me first of all just show you what I have here. You saw them kind of in the thumbnail. I have this one, and I'll show you in more detail, but what I'm mainly focusing on is how the interior is organized. So there's that one, there's this one, which also comes with the insert. We'll see these all in more detail later in the video. And there is this one. First, why am I doing this video? I have people ask me pretty often which bag organizer they should buy for which bag, which company, all these questions. There are so many bag organizers out there. It's hard for me to answer that because I don't have a whole lot of bag organizers from a lot of different companies. I don't have a Samorga. I see videos all the time about Samorga organizers. Apparently they are fantastic, but personally, and I know a lot of you feel this way too, they're expensive, and I feel like I can get something the same or very similar for quite a bit cheaper, less than half. And by ordering on Amazon, I can use Prime for a lot of these items and get them in 2 days, whereas Samorga, I hear it takes about a month for them to get to the States. So that's why I don't have one of those. I would really love to try one. Like if Samorga's watching and you want to send me one to do a video about, I'd be very happy to do that because I really am very curious, and I would love to compare the Samorga organizers. They can't talk these cheaper Amazon ones and see if there's a difference in the quality. But my main personal reason for doing this video is that I bought all these different organizers because I was curious about the different ways that they are organized inside of the organizer, like the different compartments, different features the different organizers have, and what would work best for me. And since I got those and I have figured that out, like there are things that I like and dislike about all of these, I'm going to share those with you. I thought it might be helpful for you guys to see what I think of them, and maybe that would help you make decisions about which organizer you would want to get. For me, the purpose of the bag organizers is twofold. One, obviously, is to help organize your bag. That is what they are intended for, of course. But number two, and a lot of people don't seem to think about this, this is what I really find the most helpful about them. It's to help protect your bag, and that also happens in two ways. So one, like I showed you, this comes out. If you don't want the center compartments, you can just get an organizer that's open like this one is and have that inside your bag and put your stuff in there, and that protects the lining of your bag. So like if something spills in here, you get makeup or whatever, or pen leaks, it's gonna leak onto this, and the chances of it leaking through and getting onto the interior of your bag, especially if you have an expensive bag that you want to protect, the chances of protecting the interior of your bag go up a lot if you have one of these organizers in it. But also it helps protect it because you can put these in your bags when you're storing them to help them keep their shape and to help keep them stuffed. And that is primarily what I use them for, those last two reasons. Before we get into the interior organization, I have a couple of questions about the sizes of these that people ask all the time. So I want to address that. People are always asking, okay, I have this bag, what size organizer should I get? It really depends. The sizes vary some based on the company that's making them. So what I would suggest is to go to the website or the listing for the organizer that you are interested in getting, or the ones that you're trying to narrow it down from and decide between, and read two things on there. Everything's about twos in this video. One is the dimensions that they give for the items, and they also, alongside those dimensions, they will often give what bag they recommend it for. They tend to talk about speedies and neverfulls. So they'll say maybe the medium size fits the neverfull MM and the large fits the GM, that sort of thing. But also what I think is even more helpful, especially if you're on a site like Amazon, scroll down and look at the reviews, because the people that have bought those items are going to have photos of the organizers in their bags, and you can see exactly how it fits. For example, several of these websites will say that their organizer, let's say the large size, is meant for the neverfull MM, but a lot of people buy the medium, which is what I have on all of these actually, for my neverfull MM. And the reason for that is a lot of people like to have a little extra space around their organizer, maybe to put extra things, maybe to make the bag not so structured, to have it a little more squishy. That's why I like the organizer to be a little smaller. And also so that the felt isn't rubbing up against the interior of the bag quite as much. So think about that when you're buying too. Don't just go on those recommendations. Think about how you want it to fit in your bag specifically. Also think about the height of the organizer. So for example, I have a Speedy 30 right here, and I'm gonna slip an organizer into it. Actually, no, I'm not. Let me just hold the organizer up next to the bag so you can see. So this organizer here. So what I want you to look at here is the height of the green organizer compared to the height of the Speedy. And I specifically want you to pay attention to where the Speedy curves on the ends, and notice that this organizer is a little taller than that. It's maybe 1/4 of an inch, up to 1/2 inch taller. This particular organizer I would not want to put in the Speedy, because that's going to make the sides of the Speedy go out where they're not meant to go out. So it's not going to shape it properly. I would go instead for an organizer that is a little bit shorter, like this red one here. So these are made by different companies. I'm gonna link these below. Pay attention to things like that if you have a bag where height is an issue. Now, if you're putting these in a Neverfull, there are organizers that are even higher to take up more of the space inside the Neverfull and help protect the interior even more. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping. Another question people have when they're shopping for these organizers is what color to get. I have a couple of recommendations for that. Number one, if you have a bag with a light colored interior, like an azure interior like that, personally, I do not recommend getting a bold color like this. I recommend getting a light color that is as close to the color of your original interior as possible. And the reason for that is potential color transfer. I don't know if these felt organizers are washed really well before they ship them to us. So it's possible that a red color like this could transfer over onto your interior, and that would kind of damage it, right? Nobody wants the top of their bag to be this nice beige color and then all the rest of it to be pink or red, right? And then potentially if you have some kind of liquid in here and that spills, I feel like that would make it even more likely that there would be color transfer onto your interior. That's why I say if you have a light interior, get a light color. Also, if you have an interior that has a smaller opening and it's a little harder to see, like this kind of looks like a black hole, then I would also recommend a light color bag insert, bag organizer in there. I'm gonna slip this in and show you how that brightens up the interior of the bag. There you go. You can see much better in there now that it has a lighter color. By the way, Jill Maurer has mentioned that in her videos too. I didn't steal that from her, just saying she's mentioned it too. And I'm gonna link her anti-Speedy video below. It's a great watch. If you're interested in a Speedy, I highly recommend watching her video. I love Speedies, but she makes some excellent points, and I want you to hear from all sides. Another tip with picking a color is, like I have this Eben bag with the red interior. I bought this red insert specifically for this bag, so it blends in and it's all matchy-matchy. That's one way to go. Or another way to go, I have this bag with the dark interior and I wanted to give it a pop of color. So I bought this turquoise insert specifically for this bag, and now I've got some color in there. And I don't have to worry about it being on the outside of the bag, matching my outfit, but I get to open it up and see, wow, all that color. And one of the things I thought about with that was, I've been on the fence about whether I should get a Monogram Speedy. And I have a vintage Speedy that I've thought about painting instead, because the Monograms are pretty expensive. And that wouldn't necessarily deter me from getting it. I do like them, but I also think they're a little bit boring. Like, I don't want to insult anybody because I'm still thinking about getting one, but it's like I wish there were more options for decorating the bag in different ways. Anyway, I've been thinking about painting that bag, and one of the things I really love about the Monogram Speedies is having your choice of interior colors. So an option, if you don't want to buy that bag but you still want the interior color, is just popping one of these in and getting that pop of color. Much cheaper. Also, when you're shopping for these, be aware that there are different thicknesses of the felt. Now, a lot of the Amazon sites, I don't think mention that. I know Samorga does. You have choices of different felt thicknesses. I don't know what the thickness of any of these are just be aware that that's sometimes an option. I think the pros and cons sort of depends. If you get a thinner one, it doesn't mean it's lesser quality, but it would mean that you'd be able to have a squishier bag. It wouldn't be quite as structured. If you want something that's more structured, you'd go for a thicker felt. Okay, let's look at the interior and the exterior organization on these 3 different organizers that I have. Let me first tell you the different brands of them and the colors and sizes that I have. So this one is from Vercord, has the Vercord tag there on it. And I also want to say, for those of you who remember and for those of you who don't, I do not recommend Vercord, and I kind of hate to even mention them in this video, but I want to give you all the information that I have on these organizers, and this is an organizer I have, so I want to share it with you. The reason I don't recommend this brand has nothing to do with their products. It has to do with their shady business practices. It's been, I think, a couple of years now, but a lot of people were buying Samorga organizers, and I was doing some videos on Vercord, and I started scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, and I saw my videos and some of my photographs that I'd put on Instagram and videos and still shots from other YouTubers being used by Vercord in their advertising. Now, I never gave them permission to use my videos or my photographs, and some of them they even removed my watermarks. Not cool. If they had reached out and asked me for permission, I probably would have said yes very quickly, because I really love their organizers. One of the shadiest things about that was that some of the other YouTubers, quite a few of the other YouTubers I saw, and I won't mention names here because I don't have their permission to talk about it, they were showing videos of Samorga organizers, but Vercord was passing them off as if they were talking about Vercord. So they were trying to trick people into thinking that the Samorga organizers were actually by Vercord. Really not cool. I reached out to some of those YouTubers. They didn't give permission. They said that they had contacted the company. They wouldn't do anything. I reached out to Samorga. I actually have a whole video on this. I'll link that below too. Samorga had tried to do something about it and had to do with being in different countries. They couldn't do anything. So I think they finally stopped doing it. I'm not 100% sure because I probably blocked them. So maybe they're still using my stuff and other people's stuff. I don't know. Anyway, that's why I don't want to talk about them. But I'm doing it anyway because I want you to have the information. So here's the Vercord organizer. It has 3 pockets on the front there. I'm not going to give dimensions because depending on what size you get, they're different dimensions. No pockets on the sides, but on the back there's the big slip pocket right here. I think all 3 of the organizers that I have that big slip pocket. Yes, they do. That is one of the most handy things I have found about organizers, because back here I can slip little papers or notebook, and it's very easy to figure out where that item is when I'm looking for it. On the inside of this particular one, the layout has 2 pockets on this side. It has 3 pockets, 1, 2, 3 over here. And then it has the centerpiece that is removable and has the Velcro on the ends where that piece attaches. And then this piece you can see right through. There's not a base on it. And then it has the Velcro on these ends. Now on this particular organizer, the Velcro pieces that are left in the bag that would be exposed if you don't have the insert in, this is the rough side of the Velcro. That is something I do not like, because if I have some nice expensive Louis Vuitton or Chanel or whatever SLGs in here, or something I don't want to get scratched or scuffed, that has the potential for damaging those items. So keep that in mind. The 3 organizer thing on all of the organizers that I've had this, let me show you here. When you have them stuffed, they're okay. They kind of keep their shape better, but you see how wonky it is, and it's not open right there very well. It kind of closes up. That's annoying when you take something out of it and then you're trying to put it back in, because you have to kind of fidget and open it up in order to put the item in. And then also having it open on the bottom, if you put a smaller thing in, it can slip out and fall into the bigger compartment. Does that make sense? So those are some of the pros and cons of this. I often will take the insert out because I have bigger items to put in, and I find, well, this is an issue with any organizer that has all these pockets. Once you start filling up the pockets, it really takes away the space in the center, or in these 2 big areas here. So it looks like you've got a lot of space to store things, but when those are full, it takes up a lot of that space. So taking that centerpiece out really gives you a lot more space in the middle to work with. So that's usually what I do. This green one here, and by the way, my red one, it was a medium size. This green one is also medium size from a different company, and it is Lexion. Lexsion. Very similar layout inside. It has, this is a bigger pocket on the outside. It takes up more space. Let me show you here. That green pocket is taller and a little bit wider than the red one. It has 3 pockets on the front, but the center one is more narrow, so that's great for putting pens. And then inside it has, it's hard to see, isn't it? 2 pockets back here, 2 pockets here. But then it also has a zipped pocket on this one back here. Sorry, that's so difficult to see. It has the same removable 3-piece compartment, but this one you can't see through. It has a base on the bottom, and I find that very handy. Except the other day when I was putting my bag together, I was actually switching out of this organizer and a bag, because I switch bags pretty much every day, and I had a black wallet in here. I took the center part out and put it aside, not realizing that my wallet was there, and I ended up leaving my wallet at home accidentally. So check all your pockets before you switch bags. So with that out, you can see the interior is the big hole again, but this one also has a lanyard. It's got that D-ring, and that's totally removable, and then you can attach your keys or whatever to this. The Velcro on the sides of this is the soft side, so when you remove the insert, you're taking the scratchy bit away, which is a pro to this organizer over the other one. Now this, some people like the lanyards. I never use them, so I don't really care about that, but it is nice to have. You take the lanyard off completely, you have that D-ring where you could attach something else if you have something that you might ever want to attach there. And then, like I showed you, this green one is a little bit taller than that red one. On this particular organizer, there's a seam that sticks out on the bottom. That is not the case on either of the other 2 organizers. The seam is inside, so keep that in mind. If you have an interior that might be particularly sensitive to something rubbing against it, then that might not be the best organizer for you. Now this last organizer is the most different. Let's start with the outside again. Oh, this one, oh, it does, yeah, okay. So I was gonna say it doesn't have a pocket on the back. It looked like it did at first, but there's no pocket here. There is one big pocket on this side though. This one, I kept the tag on just so I could show you guys, is from ETTP, that's the brand name. This color is Tiffany blue, and it is the medium size. So the interior of this one is the most different. As you can see there, it has 2 pockets on either side of the interior. It has 1 large pocket here. This is a water bottle pocket, and then it has 2 zipped pockets. I thought that would be really great to keep a wallet or something that I don't want, not that people reach into your bags, we always sort of say that, but just for a little extra security, having this zipped pocket here is nice. I did find that once I got this in person, the zipper, as you can see there, it doesn't take up the entire width of the organizer. It's a little smaller than I was expecting it to be. And the zipper on this one it's fairly smooth, but it seems a little bit rough, like a little bit rougher than what I'm used to from zippers. And when you stick your hand in, it sometimes can be a little bit scratchy too. This one, more difficult to unzip and zip, partly because it's not as stitched down and secure as much as this back pocket. Reason for that is this Velcro is off and comes out. So you could have separate little, little zipped pouch. And this one also has the rough Velcro on the outside, so that when you take it out, you've got the softer Velcro on the inside that won't damage your items. I thought it could be a really good idea for a tote bag to have a place to put my water bottle, but I will tell you that I've actually found that that's a hindrance. It takes up a lot of space in my bag, and when I want to carry a water bottle, it's usually not right in the middle of the side like that. It's usually more, let me demonstrate this. Okay, this is not the best example because I haven't put a ton of really big things in it, but here it is with some items in it. So I've got the water bottle there, I have my Agenda MM in the back, and my toiletry 15 and my mini pochette. So that actually fits pretty well, but I often want to carry something bigger like my Agenda GM, and when I try to put that in, it doesn't fit as well with that water bottle there, so it kind of moves the the shape of the bag, like it's pushing out too far on this side. Whereas if I didn't have that water bottle holder there, I'm gonna go ahead and push that to the side as much as I can, pretend that that isn't there. Then I could put the water bottle more in a corner instead of in the middle, and that fits a lot better for me. So even though this particular organizer has some really cool features with all the zippers and everything I showed you, I actually find that because of that water bottle holder, I use this one the least out of all of my organizers. And it's the color I love the most. So I might just have to order this color organizer in a different interior layout. That's something about a lot of these companies on Amazon that make these, and you can find a lot more companies than the ones that I am mentioning, and all kinds of different colors and all kinds of things, is that a lot of them will offer the same colors and sizes but with different interior options, so you can just go through and pick what you think will work best for you. And most of them are in the $20–$30 range, so they're cheap enough that if you're not sure, it's easy to return on Amazon. You can buy another one, or you could buy several, you could buy different colors, whatever. So overall, I do recommend having a felt organizer in your bag for protection and storage, if nothing else. You just need to read the descriptions and the recommendations to figure out which one you need. Think about which color would be best for you. Think about what organization would be best. And I do hope that this video helped you to think about those things, or help you decide which organizer you might want to get for your bag. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye.